So if you are stuck trying to figure out how to monetize your podcast in 2023, and you're a business owner who wants to figure something out on how to create cash flow from this show that you've obviously poured a lot of time, money, effort into, then today I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can monetize your podcasts that are going to help you build cash flow, they're going to help you gain customers, and they're going to help you ease the pressure of maybe, affording or, spending money on your podcast, right? So the biggest thing you can do right now is take a seat, grab a pen and paper, and take some serious notes, because we are going to go deep into these 3 ways. I'm not going to give you just 3 random ways. I'm going to give you some very specific, actual details on how to execute this stuff, right? So if that sounds good, then stick around and let's hop in. What is going on, my friend? Welcome back to the show, How to Get Your First 100,000 Podcast Listeners. My name is Luis Diaz. I'm the founder of Top 10 Podcasts. And this is a fun topic today. I cannot lie to you. This is a really fun topic because when I was planning this episode, I was thinking to myself, like, how have I seen our clients crush it with this, with what they're doing in terms of like selling to, through their podcast? What has worked the best? What has worked, what has not worked? What has worked really well? What hasn't? So, these 3 ways I'm really excited to share with you because I've seen clients and myself really, really grow and make money with podcasts like this. I haven't used all 3 of these methods. Some of our clients have, and I've used one of them. So I'm excited to share these with you. The links for everything I mentioned will be in the show notes and then also the YouTube description if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube. Just keep in mind though, depending on your business model, what kind of business you run, whether you're a coach, consultant, or an agency founder, or maybe you do something else, I don't know. This is going to vary on which one you're going to gravitate to. Okay, so there's 3 different ways here. They're all kind of different flavors, and it's just going to depend on what you want to do. All right. So number 1, the first thing I would take a look at. First thing, if you're thinking of like, how do I make money with my podcast? I'm an expert or a coach, and I want to figure out a simple way to make money with your podcast. I would say the first thing I would look at is setting up a low ticket membership with a podcast feed. What I mean by that is setting up a private podcast feed. All right. So something like using a place like substack.com, I believe. Links again will be in the show notes, but something like that is going to help you create a membership for very cheap. I think it's 10% of your sales. So like you sell a $10 membership, they take $1. It's so basically it's free. But setting up a low ticket membership like that with a free version, all right, and then also a like $29, $39 version. That's what I would start with. The cool thing about that is it's kind of like an all-in-one ecosystem membership site. You can also use a place like Patreon as well. So Patreon's another place as well that will help you create this. I don't know how much they are. I think they're a little bit more pricey in terms of what the fees would be. However, you can go look that up. The main thing here is to make sure that you have 2 versions. Okay, so 2 versions. You have a free version just to move people from the podcast over into this community, and then you can upgrade. Okay, very important. If you have a big audience already, when I say big, I mean like, let's talk like 30,000 list followers on Instagram or TikTok or something like that, or maybe a 10,000 person email list, you may be able to go from like free podcasts to $29 a month. But if you're just starting out and you don't have that big of an audience, haven't built that much trust in the marketplace yet, then chances are you're going to have to go and spend a little bit more time giving value and really proving out this model for you. So Patreon or Substack, places you can start these free membership sites. I would also have a free, like a private podcast. If you listen to one of our clients, runs a show, his name's Sharon Srivatsa. He runs this show called Business School. And he has a private podcast. He loves it. And the private podcast is just for his like high-end clients. So even if you have like high-ticket clients, you can start a private podcast for them, and it's a great value add. But for this specific model, the private podcast is going to be where you do things like private AMAs, Ask Me Anythings. It's going to be where you do like expert like teaching sessions with other experts. So you can say you bring a guest on a podcast and then you ask them for 5 minutes extra or 10 minutes extra of them teaching one very specific thing, right? So that could be, whatever they're good at, but have them teach it very specific, and then you keep that part for the private version. So you're building kind of like a membership site of like gated content. All right. So you can also do things like guest posts inside of there, where you have an expert guest come and contribute to the content by having them do a post for you or paying them to do a post for you. You can do all kinds of things to make your content more exclusive and make that membership worth that $29 or $39 that you're asking for. Okay. So I've seen people also do like lives, inside of there, twice a week. So they get more access to you as well, or even swag. So if you have like print on demand site, you can actually have that, like when they sign up, they get a free t-shirt in the first month or something, right? So all kinds of ideas there just to start this low ticket membership. But if that's the kind of model you want to run, for me, it's not my favorite model, but we have clients that do this and they're pretty well off in terms of success when it comes to this model. So check it out and try it out. So that's the first one. The second one I would look at doing is offering coaching and consulting with limited availability and to a highly specific outcome. What I mean by that is offering coaching and consulting normally just like, hey, like general business coaching is not going to work. It needs to be more specific and there needs to be limited availability. So you want to have more of like, keep it like more scarce. So you have less seats to work one-on-one with you. And then also the outcome has to be very specific, right? So if I'm promoting that on a podcast, I would say something like, hey, there's 3 spots left in my one-on-one coaching designed to help get business owners from 10,000 downloads a month to 100,000 downloads a month. If I'm only taking 3 spots, I'll work with you for 6 months and I guarantee the outcome. That is a very, very, very specific type of offer that's going to attract very specific people who have that problem. The problem I see with a lot of coaches and consultants that launch podcasts is that they don't have scarcity built into their offer, and they don't have a very specific outcome. That's a problem because it makes your offer weaker and it makes it more watered down. You sound and look like everybody else in the marketplace. So if you're doing this, what I would recommend doing is quarterly, every quarter, every 3 months, you're going to run a promo on your podcast. Okay. It's going to say, hey, we have enough room. I'm raising the prices next month. Or I don't know how often you raise your prices, but this is what one thing we've done successfully is we've kind of clean your list off essentially, or you kind of knock all the people who are on the fence about working with you off the fence by announcing a couple of things. For one, you're raising the prices. Number 2, you have X amount of spots left in your coaching. And then number 3, the outcome. So whatever the specific outcome is that you're teaching on, you need to name that and call that out for them. Okay. So offering coaching consulting on your podcast can be very profitable, but it has to be very specific to the outcome they're getting. There has to be limited spots and there has to be a reason why they need to act now. The easiest way to get someone to act now is to tell them that the prices are going to be increasing next month. So this is going to be the last time you get it at this price. So that's the second one there, offering coaching consulting with those 3 super critical components. The last one is going to be to turn your podcast into a high ticket funnel, meaning you are going to invite on your ideal guests or clients, and you are going to have a great interview with them, maybe even help them with their business live on the podcast, like I've taught before in the past. And then you're going to invite them to a sales call. Okay. So it's really, really simple. You set your podcast up to be designed for interviewing your ideal customers. So let's just say, for example, I'm a book publisher. I would want to interview people who want to write a book and get it published. So it would be something like, we can call it like aspiring author radio, where we would basically interview our ideal customers, and then our ideal customers would come on the show, we'd interview them, and then we talk to them about how we can help them get to the next level, which is getting their book published. That would be a really, really rudimentary idea, or a really, really rudimentary example of how to run this kind of funnel, right? You're basically turning your podcast and on your guests into the ideal prospect, right? So we're setting up the podcast to attract our ideal customer. There's a really good guy I've had on our show called Jamie Atkinson. We'll make sure we link the video, the interview below. But Jamie does this full time. He helps people figure this out and helps them really design a podcast and installs all the systems into their business so that they can actually use this for this strategy, right? Really, really successful, works really, really well, especially if you're a high ticket coach consultant or service provider who is looking for a very specific kind of customer. Now, the bonus hack I have for you in terms of making more money or generating revenue with your podcast is to do what we've done, and that is add upsells to our podcast funnel. So if you come on my show now, you will be able to book an interview, but there will be an option for you to pay for additional exposure to my audience, all right? So you can pay a fee for additional exposure to get in front of my audience. You can get on the podcast for free, but then the upsell is going to be this additional exposure piece. So for what that does is that pays me and allows me to pay my team to basically promote your podcast more and promote your offer more, right? Of course, if it's not aligned with my offer, my audience, I won't promote it. But if you're somebody who is in alignment with what I sell, then I can promote your product and I can also help you do that, right? So it would look like this. So a lot of times the best way to set this up is to have a funnel for booking a guest, right? And actually I'll have the team, we'll add like a little picture of my funnel right here so that you can see exactly what my funnel looks like, right? Now, once you're done filling out all those things, the last question will be around, would you like to buy additional exposure? You know, if you have a podcast, you have to think about this, like you have a platform that people want to get in front of. So therefore you have attention that you can sell, which is a very, very, very valuable asset. That's what Facebook and YouTube and all these other big channels sell. They sell the attention of your ideal audience. So you as a podcaster, you now have that revenue stream available to you. You should sell it. So I would start out something simple like $150, $200, $300, and then you can charge a percentage of sales on top of that, meaning you could charge a flat fee plus percentage of sales. So if I come on your show, I buy that upsell, I pay you $300, and then anybody who buys my offer, I'll give you 10%, right? You can dictate the terms like that because it's your show, or you can negotiate with the host or the guest if there's something different that they want to offer. So that is the fourth bonus way you can make money with your podcast right now in 2023. If you guys have questions or thoughts on this episode or video, go ahead and post it below or post it in a review, and I'll make sure we get back to you. And hopefully that was helpful. Really quick again, we'll recap all of three of them and plus the bonus. So number one was the low ticket membership, where we talked about using Substack or Patreon to set up a low ticket membership and sell 2 levels of membership, free version to move people over, and then the paid version to actually convert them into sales. Second one is to offer high-end coaching and consulting with 3 key ingredients. Remember, you need to have a very specific outcome. You need to have a reason why they need to act now, which is giving that price increase. And then you need to make sure that there's limited seating. You can only take on 5 clients, 3 clients, 2 clients, whatever it may be for you. And then the last one is to turn your podcast, or second to last, is to turn your podcast into a high ticket funnel for your clients. So remember, using your podcast as a way to get guests on who are the ideal fit for you, people who are likely going to want to buy your service or product. Again, we'll have Jamie Atkins' episode linked below. And then my favorite probably nowadays is going to be this upsell idea. So selling upsells on your podcast, when somebody comes on the show, offer them a bonus, kind of like a premium version of your experience of being a guest, where they can pay for more exposure, right? If you have one person take you up once a month at $500, how much money would you have made a year? You've made probably a couple $1,000s extra from your podcast that you weren't making before. So that's it, my friend. Enjoy. Hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you on the next episode.